Hello, my name is Tyler Nelson, and I'm doing a short lecture on post-secret and what it does with deviance. The purpose of the lecture is to explain the general premise of what deviance is and like all the factors that go into it and different kinds of deviance, as we'll get into in many of the later slides. And we want to correlate deviance to post-secret, and I'll give a little bit of a rundown of what post-secret is, and I'll give a couple examples of post-secret slides and explain how they connect into the idea of deviance. The base terms. So, deviance is differing from the usual standards of society many times, and many times it needs a negative reaction from some party, large or small, to be considered deviant. When it refers to some party, that can either be the majority of the world, or it could be just one person. Um, like if we're in a group of friends and everyone but like there's a group of five people and one person says something that you don't agree with, but everyone else does, you would consider that deviant, even though and it would be considered deviant even though you were the only person in that party that disagrees and considers it deviant. Norms are social rules that guide people's behaviors, and negative reactions is a negative reaction to deviance can occur over fast or long periods of time, which is just just what a normal negative reaction might feel like. It doesn't have anything different than what a normal negative reaction is. Types of deviance. So we've got situational deviance, which does not involve the entire society viewpoints, but rather a certain group or social gathering, and is less powerful than hierarchical deviance. An example of this would be the KKK, or the example I used on the previous slide about a party of five people, and only you disagreeing. Cognitive deviance is having beliefs that others around do not agree with that may be unconventional and unpopular. An example would be not drinking at a college party where everyone else is getting drunk and everything. Hierarchical deviance is people in power using their status to enforce their viewpoints on the less powerful. An example of this would be families in the 1950s. And I think that hierarchical deviance is the most important one. It's the one that we run into most in our day-to-day lives. And most of the rules in society, or like the society's norms, are based off of what the people in power say are the norms. And this has been true for all of history. Whatever the people in power say goes. The four components of deviance. It's not just a behavior, could be any characteristic of being human. Disapproval does not have to come from the majority. Power lets people get away with more than other people. Does not define what is good or bad, just what causes disapproval. I think power lets people get away with more. It was something I was seeing in the hierarchical deviance. And I think point 4 is very important because it doesn't have to be normally anything bad. When we think of deviance and like we're taking criminology classes, we think of crime and everything has to be bad, violent and everything. But deviance doesn't have to be violent. It just has to be something that causes a negative reaction in someone. And defiance defined up is becoming more deviant. So an example of this would be just being like someone of Middle Eastern descent after 9/11 in America. And the deviance defined down would be something becoming less deviant. An example of this would be people of color as of like compared to the 1950s when everyone was racist to now. It's become way less deviant. Constructionist versus positivist. Positivists try to find the reason a person might commit the deviant act, which is the why. The societal pressures, the stressors, the other various factors. Constructionists look more into the what aspect of the deviant act, take a crime and look into it why it's viewed as deviant and why it violates cultural norms. What is Post-Secret? Post-Secret is a community mail art project where people mail in their secrets anonymously. It was started in 2004 by Frank Warren. Posts range from sexual misconduct and criminal activity to wanting to just say thanks to their moms in secret. Say thanks to their sons from their moms. Almost every secret has something to do with deviance of all kinds. The ABCs of deviance. which is very important. And the next slides will give examples of these from Poe's Secret. Attitudes and beliefs for A, behavior for B, conditions and characteristics for C. Attitudes and beliefs, unpopular and unconventional beliefs that do not result in action. They can result in action, but they do not have to result in action, which is just something that you think of in your brain. And an example from Poe's Secret would be, I don't think I'll ever truly come out because of the way my mom talks about gay people, and him having the belief that he's gay, or his attitude about being gay is deviant, and still is, although it's becoming less deviant. And the mom having the attitude against being gay would also be considered deviant from the person who is gay. Behavior is action that is disapproved of and is likely to receive punishment or condemnation. And the example from Poe's Secret would be, therapy turned me into a cutter. And it's obviously looked down upon to be someone who slits their wrist and cuts himself. And I think this is the most noticeable kind of deviance, as almost everyone will, we've all seen action that we think isn't correct, and that would be defined as a behavior deviance. Conditions and characteristics would be physical characteristics that may cause someone to be looked down upon. An example from Poe's Secret would be, I'm an innie, and I will judge you if you're an outie. So conditions and characteristics is, like, if you're born, let's say, with like one leg or something, like that would be considered a characteristic of you that would be deviant. You can't control it or anything. That's just because people will look at you missing a leg and be like, that's different, and it would be considered deviant from what is the normal look in society. So if someone is an outie, according to this person, they're going to judge them because they're an innie, and anyone who has an outie would be considered deviant to this person. The conclusions is, what is deviant behavior and the ABCs? And we went through this, and the goals of this were obviously I'm recapping what the goals were. The deviant behavior we explained could be a range of things: attitudes, beliefs, behaviors, conditions. Could be anything that is different from what the society defines as normal. And anything outside those normal standards will be considered deviant. What are the different types of deviant behavior? And those are the ABCs: attitudes, behaviors, and conditions. And we learned about what Poe's Secret is, and how it's like an art project about people mailing in their secrets that have a range of anything, and how many of the secrets are connected to deviance because we keep them secret because we know they are deviant. And some of the society will not want to, people will look down on us, look at us differently if we tell them our secrets, which is why we keep them secret. And that's because those secrets are deviant acts in the broad scope of society. Thank you.